Hi, I'm Preetha Chatterjee, an assistant professor at Drexel University. In this presentation, I will describe our work on automatic identification of informative code in Stack Overflow posts. So, Stack Overflow often contain long threads of discussion. A previous study by Zhu et al. Showed that reading answers of a popular Stack Overflow post could take up to 30 minutes. So because of this information overload, finding help from Stack Overflow is difficult for software engineers. In one of our previous work, we found that software engineers focus only on 27% of code in a post to understand and apply the relevant information in their context. So to help information seekers on Stack Overflow, several research took place in the software engineering field. There had been some research in the areas of reformulation of Stack Overflow queries, high quality post detection, etc. However, to the best of our knowledge, no one has investigated how to help information seekers focus their attention in identifying relevant targeted code changes. Hence, in this paper, we aim to automatically identify informative code segments in a Stack Overflow post. Specifically, we focus on identifying the problematic and suggested code pairs from question and answers in a post. We propose a set of natural language-based approaches to automatically extract problematic and suggested code pairs from Stack Overflow posts in two scenarios. The first scenario is what you see on the left-hand side of the slide right now, where the problematic and suggested code are both present within the answer. The second situation is where the problematic code is situated in the question and the suggested code is found in the answer. Let's look at how we would identify problematic and suggested code when they are both present in the answer. When developers suggest short targeted fixes in answers, they tend to use some recurrent textual patterns. These patterns generally consist of short phrases or words accompanied with short code segments. For example, in figure A, the code suggestion, the one that you see highlighted in blue, follows the pattern of change problematic code to suggested code. We did an empirical study of all the instances in our data set and observed that there are 5 common patterns that could be used towards identifying these pairs of problematic and suggested code pairs from answers. Next, we look at the other part of the problem, where we have to identify problematic code from the question and the suggested code from the answer. To do this, we decompose this problem of code pair extraction into two subproblems. First, we identify suggested code from answers using linguistic patterns. Next, we extract the problematic code from the question using textual heuristics. So first, we start by applying an existing tool called DECA, which was proposed by DeSorbo et al., to identify the instances of suggested code from answer. DECA was able to identify some of the positive instances in our data set, but not all. So to improve the performance of the existing tool DECA, we identify short imperative sentences, that is, sentences that start with a verb and followed by an object, such as this example, perform an interactive rebase. We use chunking and other linguistic pattern matching techniques to identify these phrases towards identifying suggested code from answer. Next, we identify problematic code from the question. So first, we extract a list of code elements from the previously identified suggested code in the answer. Then, if one or more code elements were found in the suggested code co-occur in the question code, we extract that specific line of code in question as a potential problematic code. And finally, we measured the textual similarity between each line of approximate problematic code in the question with each line of suggested code in answer. So to obtain early feedback on the potential of our idea to be beneficial for software developers, we conducted a pilot survey to understand that how effective is our approach in helping developers find a relevant solution to a bug-related issue from a Stack Overflow post. So the first question that we asked our participants was that which parts of code would they focus on to reduce their time in locating information. So responses to this question in the survey suggest highlighting lines of code in the question that is responsible for causing the error or exception. And the second suggestion was to identify the targeted fix from the suggested code snippets in the answers. And for the second part of the survey, we manually annotated a set of randomly selected 100 Stack Overflow posts from our data set. Here, we provided the participants with some highlighted Stack Overflow posts and asked them if they find the highlights useful or not. So answers from that question suggest that 56% of people indicated that they found the highlights to be very useful, 32% indicated it to be useful, and 12% indicated somewhat useful. So this shows that identifying the informative code segments from Stack Overflow and designing a browser extension or some other highlighting tool to help the developers finding relevant information would be useful in helping the developers towards their daily tasks. So in summary, NL-based approaches show promise to extract problematic and suggested code pairs from a post. This technique can be leveraged to guide tools for mining question and answer forums, improve granularity of traceability mappings involving forum posts, etc. Thank you, and I look forward to answer your questions in the live session.